Hey, what's up, Crypto Army? I'm Travis, your crypto newbie, bringing you my experiences so you don't have to learn things the hard way. Just a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. None of my content should be viewed as financial advice. If you like what my content offers, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, and turn on notifications so you get notified about new content when I publish it. It really helps grow the channel and get the content to others that might like it. Now, today I thought we'd take a look at EverGrow Coin. I did a video yesterday on the poll. The results are in. They are going to use the buyback and burn function with the team wallet. So that's the way going forward, which is great. It's an awesome option. So now granted, I wasn't necessarily for that particular option, but I was in the minority, and that's how polls work. So the majority won, and both options are great, like I said yesterday. So I'm not necessarily disappointed. We're just going to see a little bit less Binance-Pegged USD, but we will probably see the price increase faster over time. Now, I want to cover a couple things from the AMA this weekend, along with a couple other things. But as part of this process, I want to just kind of show some of the little sneak peeks that we got on Twitter. And the first one I'm going to show you kind of goes through all the exchanges that they've got. And then it also shows a demo of what Crator currently is designed to look like. Now, you might notice it looks like a lot of other systems. This was talked about quite a bit during the AMA. So before we watch that, they did use a template for the building of systems. And anybody that knows anything about software design or designs in general, pretty much everything starts with the baseline. So you've got your first movers into any kind of a sector or a technology area. They start off fresh. They bring a fresh idea. Everybody else does it a little bit different, but uses that base idea to build their product. That's why there's a first mover advantage, because they build up all those initial investors. But if you can come up with a better product, new entrants can sometimes get a better product and more market share, provided the first mover doesn't adjust and match the improvements that everybody that follows comes up with. And anybody that's read anything about innovation and how innovation works knows that. So don't worry about whether it looks like a template or whether they used a template. That doesn't matter. That's just people putting FUD out there to scare you. There's absolutely nothing wrong with using a template. And I've said that repeatedly, whether it's doing my fundamental analysis on looking at websites or looking at how the designs are the same, or even white papers being very similar to other white papers. Why would you come up with a whole new concept? It just doesn't make any sense. You're going to waste a whole bunch of time on something that's not necessarily that important. What is important is the features. And I've said this in a couple of different tweets I've put out, as well as a couple of different responses to comments on videos. That's what matters more, is what are they bringing that's new? What are they innovating? What are they going to bring to the community that improves the space and makes it better for content creators? And that's where Sam is indicating that he's leaning, is he's trying to come up with features that haven't been done before, or he improves on those features along with the minimum viable product getting released, which is what I would be looking for. I'm not looking for them to reinvent the entire space. We don't need that. What we need is a product that when we start using it, we're familiar with, because we've used similar systems already, and it's easier for us to adopt and move forward with. And hopefully they improve on a couple things that are annoying about other systems. So let's go ahead and take a look at this sneak peek. I'm gonna first show you the login of the system, and then it's gonna walk you through kind of what the exchange list that they're currently on is, so we don't have to talk about that. It'll already be there. And then it'll show you the actual Crator system. The whole video is really not that long. It's only about 45 seconds, so let's dive right in. So as you can see, this is everything they're listed on, the DEX wallets that they were on, and here is Crator, the main login page, and then the interface. And it looks really good. Very similar notifications, messages. Now, just for a second, messages. An improvement over, say, YouTube. There are a lot of messages that show up in the notification area that we can't reply to. And I've been talking with customer service about this for a while now, and they haven't been able to resolve it. So it would be nice if every notification or every message that the content creator received could be replied to. Obviously, there are some that should be filtered out and held for review. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about ones that just vanish. And talking with some people that left messages, they didn't delete them. So they should have been there for me to reply to, and they're not. And I've got quite a few of these. Almost every day I get a couple messages like that. And YouTube can't seem to figure out why that's happening. So that would be one immediate fix, is to, yes, filter out the inappropriate and hold for review on those, or the shilling or the phone numbers and all that kind of other stuff. Yeah, definitely filter that stuff out. But maybe put even some of that other stuff if it's on a border, because even the ones I'm talking about, that's not the case. I'm talking about just a regular message gets removed and I can't find it, even though I get an email about it and I get a notification. I can't find it to reply. So if they could fix that to the point where I could actually reply to people that are sending me messages, that would be great. That would be a significant improvement. Now, as you can see, there's a messaging app built into here, which is awesome. Looks like Sam and Jacob having a conversation. And as you can see up here, the wallet is up here. Now, I'm concerned about this live stream thing. The AMAs, at a minimum, are about an hour to 2 hours, depending on which AMA is being covered. 30 minutes per day is just not going to do it. And for me specifically, there's sometimes I do 2, 3, 4 AMAs a day. So 30 minutes for a live stream is pretty limited on launch. I'm just going to say I can't even cover the EverGrow AMA using their own system, because it's always longer than 30 minutes. I think last time it was about an hour and a half, but normally for content creators, we want to get on there a little bit early, get everything set up, get people in there, we can start talking, see what's going on, see what questions they've got. So 30 minutes is kind of a short period of time for a live stream. It's a little restrictive, at least in comparison to YouTube. And I plan on doing exactly that. EGC AMA. Now, if you go to the website, you're not going to find that list of different exchanges. They are coming out with a new update to their website. It's going to be completely redesigned, completely fresh look. It's going to fix some of the issues that are currently on there. That's coming. So they're not focused on fixing certain things here when they can fix it and come out with a brand new one. And the launch of that's imminent is kind of what it sounded like. So we should expect to see that pretty soon. We'll have a fresh new website that we can take a look at. And then it looks like they're going to have a list of all the exchanges, which is one of the things that the community was asking for. I know I had asked for that as well. It would be nice if they indicated kind of how the rewards are going to work. So if there are any exchanges that launch that do support rewards, that would be helpful information. I've been hearing that there's some weird fees on a couple of them. Again, I don't do much exchange usage anymore, but it would be helpful if they provided a little bit of that kind of information on their website as well. So if Bitmart, for example, charges a ridiculous fee for swapping into a wallet, maybe a little note that says the transfer fee is 1 million EverGrow Coin or whatever it happens to be. Because that's one of those things that they did with SafeMoon, and you get into it and you don't necessarily know the fine print of how that particular token is going to work in the exchange. So this is a place on their website where they can centralize that kind of information. So if you're a first-time investor in this project, you can go take a look at this on their website and identify those issues in advance and kind of pick what exchange you want to use based off of how their fee structure is going to work. That will be my recommendation. All right, so they also gave us a little bit of a preview for the NFT Marketplace, so we'll go ahead and take a look at that as well. Now, as you can see, it looks pretty good. The ability to upload, what you're going to have to provide as far as information, looks easy enough. And they just kind of walk through that process. Now, I'm not that kind of a content creator, so I don't know how to build NFTs. But as far as this process, it seems pretty simple, where even I could figure it out. It's just too bad I don't have any artistic capabilities because I can't draw or paint, and the extent of my capabilities are stick figures. And I don't think stick figures are going to do well in here. Although CryptoPunks are doing pretty good, so maybe I've got the possibility where my stick figures could do pretty good. But I like it. I think the NFT Marketplace and Crator both look really, really good. They look like high quality and easy to use systems. And it really looks like it's pretty close to launch ready. I'm not seeing any kind of, I mean, granted, they're building this to show the quality, so they're not necessarily going to advertise their issues. But it looks good. Now, if you go to the NFT Marketplace section of their website, you're still not going to see it. All you're going to see is the basic information. They do list the pricing model here, which is kind of nice. So you can either sell it through a fixed price or through an auction. So if you want to check out more information, definitely come check out this. They've added a little bit more information, but not too much. At least not since the last time I was on here. And it's kind of the same thing for the Crator system. There's not much change since the last time that I've gone to this website. Again, they're building a brand new website, so that's not too surprising. The other big update from the team was the play to earn. We haven't really heard about this, and I've mentioned that a couple times on AMAs and live streams. We haven't heard too much information about the play to earn, but it sounds like they're in negotiations with a major game developer to build this game. And you can see the basic information here. It's not exactly clear how the volume for play to earn is going to work, because obviously you're playing to earn, but what exactly is the game going to do towards volume? They made it seem like it's going to be really, really impressive how this works with supporting the volume. It just isn't 100% clear because they haven't explained it yet, but they made it sound really exciting. So I'm curious to see what they come up with. And again, this is a lot of utility for EverGrow Coin. And almost all of it goes back towards the holders. Again, I don't know enough about the play to earn to understand that, but if you're getting EverGrow Coin and NFTs, it's going back to you for playing a game. So again, everything that they're building is designed around building utility and ensuring the holders are going to get taken care of as far as price or BUSD or value that contributes to your personal wealth. And that's awesome. That's unlike most other tokens, which you don't really understand exactly how it benefits you other than having some kind of utility. That's one of the things Sam put a lot of emphasis into, is every single thing that EverGrow Coin does is tailored to the community. And it's no different than the poll. It's the exact same thing. They asked the question of the community to get community's perspective on the two options because they're both good options. You couldn't choose the wrong option from their perspective. And I appreciate that they're going to the community to ask those questions when there's no wrong answer. I'm all for Sam and the team making decisions about where the project's going and what the project is and how everything works within the project, because they're doing a great job. Now, some people will say, well, yeah, but the price is down. Well, the price is down across the market. All of crypto market is down. So you can't really fault Sam and the team for the crypto market being down. That's just kind of how the crypto market works. It doesn't always just go up, no different than the stock market. Which kind of leads me to one other thing I wanted to talk about, which is, why did you get into the project? I've heard a lot of comments about the FUD and, you know, what about this or what about that? And most of the FUD is from one particular YouTuber, which I'm not even, it's not worth talking about his videos. They're garbage. I don't know how else to put it. Most of the time, he found one thing which was just odd, and the team explained it very quickly and very easily what was going on with that particular situation, and it was the Bitmart audit. And it made perfect sense when they explained it. Everything else is like the length of the white paper and all this ridiculous stuff that just doesn't matter when you look at a project. Now the price is down. The price is down on a lot of tokens, but people get a little bit too scared. And I think a lot of this comes down to how frequently we watch videos about these projects. And that's part of the reason I don't like doing daily videos, because if you get into the mix of wanting to get this content every single day and you're always looking at the price, you're more likely to get wrapped up in all this FUD and the concerns that are out there in this community, because every community that gets big has a lot of that. And I see it all the time in the SafeCoin community, and it got to the point where I just had to stop watching the videos because you're constantly bouncing around between FUD and this happened and this happened and this person left and this video came out and this was recorded. And at the end of the day, none of that mattered. Yet the price always took a hit for all that stuff because people are watching it and they're concerned about their money and they're getting scared, so they pull out of it. Now, I've chosen on this particular channel, I'm going to keep the videos to the important stuff. The poll yesterday was important. You needed to have an option to choose a vote. It was important to cover that. Understanding what they're coming out with is important from the AMA. I'm not going to do video content for EverGrow Coin every single day on my channel because there isn't stuff to cover every single day. And if I'm constantly talking about stuff that really doesn't matter, you're more likely to get wrapped up in all that FUD, and so am I. And I'm not interested in this channel being about that. And I would suggest walking away from YouTube every once in a while, even if that kind of hurts our channels a little bit. Watch it later. There are channels that do YouTube content every single day for all these different projects. I'm not going to be one of those. And I would recommend you try to not watch it every single day anyway, because the stuff doesn't change that much. Just my recommendation. Maybe jump on Twitter to see what's going on Twitter. And if you see something that seems interesting, then jump on the YouTube video. I don't know. I feel weird because I'm kind of recommending you not watch YouTube videos, and I'm a YouTube content creator. But the reality is that there's a lot of stuff out there that's only going to scare you. So why watch stuff that doesn't matter? What are the fundamentals of the project? Is what you're hearing, what you're seeing, or what you're reading impacting the fundamentals for the project? Then it matters. If the price is down, does that affect the fundamentals of the project? Absolutely not. The price is going to go up and down. I'm telling you now, the price is going to go up and down. Bitcoin goes from 60,000 down to 20,000. The price goes up and down. And I want to say there was a period where it was like 30,000, then it was down like $2,000. So you're going to see massive fluctuations in the market. That isn't a fundamental that you should be concerned with. Now, if all of a sudden they stop doing the NFT Marketplace and you read about, the NFT Marketplace is getting chopped off the list, or the play to earn is going away, these are all fundamentals. The content creator, that stuff's all fundamentals. If you see big news related to that, that matters. That absolutely matters. If Sam, as the CEO of the company, gets indicted by the FBI, that probably matters. And you might want to keep an eye on that kind of information. If somebody had a wire fraud FBI claim from 10 years ago that happens to be on a team, maybe everybody gets a second chance in my book. So 10 years is a long time to be without any issues. If you're not tracking the reference, that's Saitama. But that's my point, is there's always going to be information like that. So right now you have to figure out what information matters to you. And when you hear information, does it matter? Does it matter to the fundamentals? Does it change the direction of this project? Now, when you hear it, you might say, well, the community is going to go crazy with this and we're probably going to see a sell-off, because that generally happens. People got paper hands. And that's why I say every video, stay strong with those diamond hands, because that's the difference. If we had people that weren't so scared of every little thing that happens, we'd have a lot less price fluctuation. So I just wanted to kind of cover that aspect, because I'm seeing a lot of that going through this community now, just because we're starting to get more people. Once you start getting above 100,000 people, you start to see that build inside the community, especially from outside the community, because you become a target. And you get these bot attacks like we've been talking about, these bot dislikes. And we get these FUD videos that are just ramblings of nonsense that have no bearing on the actual project. That's because this project is successful. And for some reason in the crypto community, you can't be successful without building some enemies. It's like you can't possibly have 2 really good projects or 500 really good projects. It's just not possible in crypto space for some reason. At least that's the perspective. I'm of the mindset that everybody can go up. Every single project can be successful in their own ways. That's the way I look at it. Now, one more thing. So on the AMA, when we were doing the live stream, Boda token had somebody in the chat, and it appeared to at least some people that maybe he was spreading FUD, and then there was another person that was in there, so it kind of seemed like it was a coordinated, potentially attack on FUD. I talked with the person. We did some emails back and forth. That was never the intent. He had no intention of making it seem like that. He was raising legitimate concerns he had. The problem was that the concerns were a little complicated to do inside of a live stream AMA. It had to do with wallets and transfers, and when we started digging into it, it turned out he thought it was the team wallet, but it wasn't the team wallet, and it was just a regular holder with a lot of tokens, doing some transfers in and out and doing different things. It had nothing to do with the team wallet. So when we looked at that, we figured out, well, it wasn't actual information. It wasn't an actual concern. And talking with him, he was generally concerned about the community, that this might be some sort of a scam or a rug pull. And I can't fault him for that. That's awesome. I like it when people come in and try to help you or me to make sure we're not going to be the subject of a scam. So I got to give the person credit. That's awesome. And I encourage you to do that as well. If you have legitimate concerns, bring them up. I've got no problems, in any project that's worth anything won't have a problem with a legitimate concern or a legitimate question. Now, if they hear the same question about, well, your white paper is not 200 pages long, they might start getting a little annoyed at that, because you need to know better than to expect a 200-page white paper. You don't need that. The white paper in general, a lot of times they're the exact same things as the website. I'm going to get off the white paper thing because that's just ridiculous. But ask questions. If you've heard or if you've seen something that you don't completely understand and you're worried about it, ask me. I'll look into it and try to get an answer back to you. I've got no problem doing that. And in the case of that one piece of FUD that didn't really make a lot of sense as far as why certain things were turned off on the contract, I didn't know the answer to it. So I had to reach out and ask the question during the AMA with Sam, and Sam and Jacob answered the question that, hey, it was just part of the Bitmark audit process. So FUD is eliminated. It's no longer FUD anymore. There's no longer a concern because it's been answered. So feel free to ask questions. Now, in the middle of a live stream, in the chat box, for a question as detailed as, hey, there's a bunch of wallet transfers for this and this and this, that's probably not the appropriate place to do it. And that's the same thing I told the person from Boda Token. That probably wasn't the best place to do it. Raise the concern, and then let's get it offline and we'll talk about it and we'll go through it and try to figure out what's going on. And if you've got other concerns that are just kind of, you've heard this or heard that, and it's not necessarily going to require a whole bunch of research on my part, feel free to ask it in the AMA. If it's a really complicated one, I'm probably going to say, hey, let's shoot me an email, send me the details, and then we'll take a look at it. But if you saw that interaction and you were thinking that the Boda Token was sending people into the chat and trying to shield a project and spread FUD, don't think of it that way. They were legitimately trying to help you or us with this token because they had a real concern about whether it was a scam or not. And it turned out to be nothing. That's a good thing. So I've got a lot of respect for the individual from Boda Token that did that. And I'm not going to say who it was, but you should have a little bit of respect for the Boda Token right now because they're trying to look out for you and your money. And if you haven't looked at Boda Token, here's my fundamental analysis of it. Go check it out. It's a fully doxed team. It's got a pretty strong fundamentals. It's having some similar price issues that EverGrow Coin is right now, but so is every other token that's out there. So it's probably a good time to buy. Again, I'm not just a one token person. I have no problems talking about good projects, and you shouldn't be afraid of it either because you can invest in more than one project, because if one project is down, that's a good project to buy in. While the other project might be up, you might not want to put as much money into a project that's up. So you really do want to have some diversification in your portfolio anyway. This video is way longer than I intended it to be, but I did want to cover all that information because I think it's important. I think that sometimes you get wrapped up on the price as an investor, and when it starts to go south, you start getting really, really worried. Again, never invest more than you're willing to lose because there's no guarantees in crypto. There's absolutely no guarantees. Regulation could come out in the next 6 months that completely changes the entire scope of the crypto market because right now there's not a ton of regulation. So that could happen, and that could impact multiple cryptos. Just, you got to be aware of that. So never invest more than you're willing to lose. Yeah, keep an eye on it, but try to remember the fundamentals and what matters about the project. And unless you're seeing something that impacts those areas, it probably doesn't matter. Let me know in the comments. What do you think about the Crator and the NFT Marketplace interface? Good, bad? What do you hate? What do you love? What are you looking forward to? Let me know in the comments. I'm interested in hearing what your thoughts are. From my perspective, I just want something that's functional. And there are a couple pet peeves I've got with YouTube that I would really love if they fix. And then I've got the concern about the length of the video. Until next time, stay strong with those diamond hands. Crypto Newbie here to tell you how you can get $2,340 in free stocks. All the links I use in this video are in the description. Sign up for Webull and get 2 free stocks valued up to $2,300. Your first stock is free automatically. Deposit any amount and you get your second stock. Deposit 1 penny and you get your second stock. Total value could be up to $2,300. Generally $5 per stock is what you get. Next we have block fee. Get $10 in Bitcoin just for signing up. Read the fine print. I've got a rewards account. You'll get $40 in Bitcoin, as will I. So you know exactly what I'm going to get and what you're going to get. You do need to deposit $100 to get your $40 in Bitcoin. That's the overview how to get $2,340 just by signing up for accounts.